the future group, we do namaste to each other. Let's ask ourselves, why do we do namaste to each other? One could be it is just habit. In India, everybody does namaste. It is very easy to do namaste. You don't have to think good morning, good evening. You don't have to look at the watch and decide, should I say good morning or good evening or good afternoon. But namaste, you can tell it anytime, morning, evening, night. So it's very convenient. It's an Indian habit. But let's look at a deeper meaning of namaste. Namaste means I'm saluting you. I'm bowing my head, I'm joining my hands. But at a more deeper level, it means that I'm not saluting who you are at this particular moment. I'm saluting who you can become in the future. Because I believe every human being is capable of infinite growth. So you are capable of infinite growth, and I'm saluting your ability to grow to that infinite extent. Tomorrow you'll be a better human being, day after you'll be much better and still better, and every day will get better and better. So I'm saluting your ability to get better. And that is what namaste means, which means, and that is why when people say the customer is God, what does it mean? It means today the customer can buy only one shirt, but tomorrow he may be able to buy 2 shirts, 4 shirts, 5 shirts, 10 shirts. Because when he becomes prosperous, then your sales will also increase. So he is your Bhagwan. He is the one, if his growth is infinite, so is your growth is also infinite. And therefore, a team member, imagine if somebody says that a store manager has to achieve sales of 100 crores. How will he achieve 100 crores? Last year he achieved only 50 crores. That means he has to double his turnover. Does it depend on products? Does it depend on processes? Or does it depend on people? Yes, products help. Processes help. But ultimately it is about people. Because if the people don't grow, how will the business grow? And people will grow only when they believe in growth. When they realize that they have not reached the limit of their talents, but they are always growing constantly. So Karta recognizes his team and people around him as his Bhagwan. And his team recognizes the customers as their Bhagwan. They are all capable of infinite growth. And their growth depends on the Bhagwan's growth. This is a very important concept for a Karta to have. When I believe that you have infinite growth, when I believe that in your growth lies my growth, then you become my Bhagwan. And I become your Yajman. What does it mean? Yajman is a very powerful concept in Indian thought. Yajman is someone who takes responsibility for a ceremony or a ritual. Ultimately, he is the decision maker. So ask yourself, are you a decision maker? If you are, then you are a Yajman. Next question. On whom does your success depend upon? If it depends upon your team, then they are your Bhagwan. If it depends on your customer, then the customer is also your Bhagwan. So customer is God, but customer is internal customer as well as external customer. Internal customer is your team. External customer are the people who come from outside into your stores or your business with whom you engage with. Internal customer reports to you, external customer doesn't report to you. But both are Bhagwans, they'll enable you to grow. To understand this concept is very, very important. So, you see, when you look at the animal kingdom and you see an alpha male dominating all its juniors, that is not a Yajman Bhagwan relationship. The most powerful animal doesn't think that the junior is Bhagwan. That is the jungle. वो जंगल राज है. He thinks that he has to dominate and control the junior people in order to feel powerful. But here it is the other way around. The Karta or the Yajman feels that only when the junior people become senior will he grow. So he enables your growth. He supports your growth. But he also knows that he is the decision maker and he is accountable for whatever decision he makes. This is the concept of Yajman Bhagwan. Just visualize this, Visualize this Govinda festival which happens in Bombay. A pot is tied on top and you have to reach the pot. And to do that you have to build a human pyramid. So people stand one on top of the other. Now if you ask these people what is the most important activity, everybody does the pyramid, everybody creates the pyramid, the Krishna stands on top. But the most difficult part is the last stage when the lowermost rung of people have to stand up. Because they carry the weight of the entire organization on their shoulders. That is the most important. Not the building of the pyramid is relatively easy. The most difficult part is the last step when the lowermost rung of the pyramid stands up. And when they stand up, then the topmost guy gets access to the pot or the butter. So we have to ask, in this pyramid, who is the Yajman, who is the Bhagwan? Yajman is the person on top. But in order to, he has to be very aware that the Bhagwan is at the bottom. And only when the Bhagwan rises and discovers his infinite potential will he get access to the milk. So the head of the company will achieve his target only when all the juniors succeed in doing their targets. And his job is to help them achieve their target. That is a true Karta. And how does he do it? He has to look at them carefully. You see, there is a very famous story in Mahabharata, and it says, one day the Pandavas and the Kauravas came to Krishna and said, we are going to fight a war, so you help us. And so Krishna said, okay, I have to help both of you because I am related to both of you, you are both my friends. So I'll give you two things, you decide what you want. Do you want me without weapons, or do you want my army which is fully armed? Now Kauravas said, we want your army fully armed. Pandavas said, we want Krishna without arms. If you were in that position, what would you choose? Now typically, because you have heard the story and Pandavas are supposed to be the heroes and Kauravas are supposed to be the villains, typically our answer will be, we will all want Krishna. We don't want Krishna's army. We want Narayan, not Narayani's Sena. But let's be more practical. Let's look at this image of Dhoni. Do you like Dhoni the person, or do you like Dhoni because he's a great cricketer? Or look at this image of Rahul Mahajan. When you looked at that serial of his reality show where his marriage was decided, everybody was wondering, did the girl marry him or did she marry his fortune? You see, all of us have two parts. What I am and what I have. Main or mera. When I am engaging with you, what am I talking to? Am I talking to who you are or what you have? And that is the question that we have to ask. If I only look at what you have, the skills that you possess, the knowledge that you have, the kind of work that you, then I am not will not help you grow, because I'll only focus, it will be a transactional relationship. I'll see what you have, what you bring to the table. But if I look at you genuinely, and look at your fears, and look at your trust quotient, do you trust me, don't trust me, are you afraid, what are your fears? Then I will know who you are, and then I will know how to help you grow. Because genuine growth is when I overpower my fears, when I genuinely overpower my insecurities. When that happens, automatically new skills will develop, new knowledge will be gained. So Karta, when a Yajman says that I am your Yajman and you are my Bhagwan, it means I'm not looking at what you have, I look at what you are. That is darshan, the ability to look at you genuinely and not at what you have. So in temples when we go, we are told, go and do darshan. Now normally what people do, they go into the temple and shut their eyes immediately. You stop looking. But the Yajman looks at the Bhagwan, his team, his employees, and he looks at them. He doesn't look at them and looks at the customer and says, oh, only if he has money I will smile at him. Only if he is a big spender I will be nice to him. He says, no, everybody is Bhagwan. I will treat everyone with love and affection and see what I can do for them in that context. So a big spender will have different needs, a small spender will have small needs, a first time customer will have different needs, a repeat customer will have different needs. So I will look at their needs and their wants and their fears and their insecurities and enable them to grow. That is what a Yajman does to a Bhagwan, and that is the only way the pyramid will happen. Once the lowest most rung believes and has confidence, it will stand up, it will learn the art of standing up. But first it must believe. And that is the key to the success between a Yajman and a Bhagwan. Everybody on whom we depend is our Bhagwan. And everybody who takes a decision is the Yajman. I hope all of you discover the Yajman within you. And all of you realize that you are Bhagwan. And only when your Yajman supports you will you discover your Bhagwan inside you. So every human being has a Yajman who supports his growth. And every human being has a Bhagwan whose growth is responsible for his success. So upstream is Yajman, downstream is Bhagwan. This idea is very critical if you want to grow in life and if you want to become a Karta.